Hi everyone, so this is Marika. I'm a functional nutritionist and I'm one of the PeriHub experts here. And actually I talked to Emily about an interesting case study that I have and that I wanted to share with you. It's about a client who is 47 years old, but she's already post-menopausal. And so she has a lot of symptoms of low estrogen. So she's very fatigued, she has hot flashes, depressive mood. She also had vaginal dryness. And also specifically she wanted to work on weight gain, especially around that midsection, right? And so basically since when we did the intake, there seemed to be some cancer history in her family. I insisted on doing a specific hormone test called the Dutch test, and I know that it's been discussed here in the group, so I know some of you have heard of it for sure. But yeah, it's a test I don't always do with clients because it's also a matter of cost. But in this case, I said, okay, before we actually put you on HRT and give you some bioidentical estrogen, I really want to see that Dutch test. And I'm actually glad we did it. So I wanted to share that with you. And now bear with me because I've never actually shared my screen on a Facebook Live. So I hope I will be able to do that because I wanted you to see that that page basically. So how can I do this? Ask a question? No. No, that's for guests. Oh my gosh. I'm afraid I won't be able to. No. That's just showing you my staircase. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so it looks like I'm not able to actually add any pictures here. Okay, well, so I'll just talk you through it and I'll post the image in the comments. I think that should work too. So yeah, basically her test came back. So what we see on the Dutch test is there's those, and I actually may have one here on paper. That's not hers, but so basically what we see is the different, yes, I do have one. The different detox pathways of our estrogen metabolism. And that's actually, it's our liver function. It's what our liver is doing. So this is what this page looks like. And so basically what the main thing that we wanted to see on her test was this part here, the estrogen metabolism. So you see you have 3 different estrogens, and the most important one is the estradiol. And then you see there's basically, this is what your liver is doing, is the detox, and there's different pathways. So there's the 2-OH, which is the green one, and it's actually green in a sense, it's good. So that's the pathway that the body should be using 60 to 80% of the time. So here, this one here, that's basically the straight pathway. And then there's the, so you can see the red one here, that's the 4-OH, and that's actually a pretty damaging one. So if your body is overusing that one, it's usually linked to a lot of, it comes when you have a lot of inflammation, but this is really damaging to your DNA. So this is not a good one, and that can cause basically damage on your cells. And so that one, your body should not be using more than 11%. It says, 7.5 to 11%. And then the last one is the 16-OH. That's the short blue one on the top. And that's really a pathway that I see a lot elevated with women who have fibroids, PCOS, any kind of like growth in your uterus or also in your breasts. And this is really the one that is kind of linked to breast cancer. So this was like an important one for her, right? And that one, the body should be using it, as a maximum to 13 to 30%. That's normal. And basically, you can see that here in that pie chart. So her result actually was completely the opposite. So what you see in that pie chart, the big green. So basically, her body was using more than 50% of that blue pathway, the 16-OH, the cancerogenic one. And then she was also overusing the 4-OH, the red one, to almost 15%. And her body was only using, instead of 60 to 80% of that 2-OH pathway, her body's only using that to 30% actually, or I think it was 33. So that was not like a very encouraging or good result, right? And basically, she was pretty doomed by it. And so what was important for me, that she understood that these kind of test results are not a death sentence. They're not like graved in stone. They can, basically if you do the right work and we do that same test another month, it can look completely different. So in her case, she has a lot of mental stress like we all do. She has likely some toxicity also from her past, and she hasn't been eating well. So, we have been working already on her diet and trying to get her blood sugar more balanced. So that's kind of, one of the basic things that I always start out with. But basically by getting inflammation, lowering inflammation, and that can be different herds of inflammation, like mental stress, like blood sugar imbalance. It can also be rooted in the gut or, other things. So basically that's one step, lowering that inflammation so that your liver is actually in good shape of doing that detox process properly, right? But there's other things that she will now do is basically eat a ton of broccoli sprouts because what it does is really the sulforaphane in raw broccoli or all this cruciferous vegetables, and especially broccoli sprouts, but you can also find it as a supplement. It will actually push the body to move the needle towards that 2-OH pathway. So what I've done now is I've actually given her estrogen because she's feeling so really like crap. And I mean, when I saw her, she was so overwhelmed. She was so low on energy. She was very low in mood. And I was like, okay, I really need to get her to that better space where she actually has more resilience and where she actually feels like, okay, now I can do this. And I know that only HRT would be able to do that for her. So I decided to not go the safe route, which may have worked, but would have taken like much, much longer. So I said, okay, we're gonna go on HRT, and so that she also feels comfortable with it. We do it for 1 month now, but at the same time, and that's your kind of your life insurance here, is a product that I really love with estrogen metabolism. It's called DIM Ultra, and it's from Pure Encapsulation. So I've used it a lot. I've even used it myself before. And what it does is it really actually speeds up your estrogen metabolism. So it makes sure that your body is excreting that estrogen very quickly. So basically, what I'm doing is a little bit complicated and may sound like strange, but basically I'm giving her a higher dose of estrogen HRT that I would have given her normally. And I'm giving her at the same time the DIM that will lower her estrogen. So, but this is basically to ensure that she doesn't get, have a risk, or that she's not developing any fibroids, and to make sure that, those pathways are basically going smoothly. And then another thing that I really like about this test is, at the bottom you see the COMT. So that's basically, that's an enzyme that's linked to your detox activity. And you can actually genetically have kind of a slow COMT gene. I do have it for sure. But it doesn't always mean, I did that genetic test, but it doesn't mean that your metabolism is per se low. I mean, it can be that basically, if that gene is turned on, then yes, your metabolism will be very slow. But if you're doing the right things, then it doesn't need to be. And and basically this is usually also a good indicator to actually see, do you need to support the metabolism a little bit more? Do you need to maybe, push certain vitamins and minerals that will actually also increase that COMT activity? So this is one of the reasons I really like to do this test. And I also always do this test when I have clients who have symptoms of high testosterone, like acne, or hair loss, or feeling like having this aggressive mood. But it's mostly basically the acne that you get, like, around your chin, and you will also get it here in your décolleté and on the back. So those are really kind of what I call testosterone pimples. And that kind of hair loss that creates those bald patches, like actually men have. And this is really what you see on here. This is the testosterone metabolism. And basically, if your body is preferring that androgenic pathway, which is, this is actually an old copy, so this is now shown differently in the test. But basically, if you have a preference for that alpha pathway, that can cause this kind of excess estrogen, because it's basically favoring the metabolism towards another hormone that's much more potent than testosterone, DHT. So that's also a great thing about this test, and you can also actually test your adrenal function with this as an add-on. So, but I'm not here to actually do any promotion for this test. I just thought I just really wanted to do this, hop on this short live here and share this in the group, to give hope to women who may have cancer predisposition, or who are afraid to use HRT, because I do see really, really good results with HRT, and I think I think nobody should be feeling guilty of using it. For me, it's essential. Look at it like when you see magnesium deficiency on your blood. Well, you're going to supplement with magnesium, right? And you're going to try and eat a lot of foods that have high magnesium. So the same is with low hormones. I mean, there's really no need to actually suffer from low hormone symptoms. You can just supplement with them. And I mean, it's now normal that at our age, our body is declining that hormone production, but it doesn't mean that we now need to settle for feeling less good. I always think back to, women didn't used to get that old. And basically by the time they hit menopause, that was kind of the end of their life. But this is not what we're experiencing now. I mean, we live much longer, and I really think that that every woman has the right to feel great even after menopause. And if basically elevating her levels of hormones can make her feel that great, or just make her feel better than she was, or make her appear more youthful, or whatever the motivation is, then there's really no shame in that. And I know that, as I said, I did that genetic test, so I know I have a predisposition for Alzheimer's. And so this is also really one thing why I will for sure, I mean, I'm now 45 and I don't need estrogen yet, but I will for sure be the first one to lather it on my skin, because I want to protect my heart health, I want to protect my brain, I want to protect my bones, and I also don't want to prematurely age a lot. And I know it's a hormone that's important for energy, and so yeah, I mean, just for, protecting, because these are all things, vascular diseases, right? The heart health, the brain, cholesterol, they actually all come together. And, if you have a predisposition for that, like I do, you basically will have all of them. And so for me, I know that estrogen is just really a very important hormone, and I will not hesitate to take it. And I know there's a lot of discussion and hesitant about estrogen, but really I think as long as you do the testing and you don't take anything that you don't need, if you have excess hormones, it's never good. It's never good to have excess hormones. If your body's producing too much, or you're getting them from xenobiotics, like hormone disruptors, like plastics or things like that can actually, give that false impression that there's estrogen in your body, or more estrogen than actually is. So, these are all things that can basically influence that. So, but as I said, it's never good to have excess hormones. So you just want to make sure that you get the right amount, and that you retest on a more or less regular basis, at least every 6 months. So I think as long as you do that, you can be really, you can have peace of mind, really. And you will know by the symptoms as well how you feel. So I'm going to stop blabbering now. I just wanted to share that with you, and wanted to let you know that, even if your test looks like the one from my clients, and I'm going to post her result. I've just taken out her name and everything. I'm going to post that in the comments, but, even if your test result will look like this, it doesn't mean that you cannot use HRT. And there's basically, tips and tricks that you can use to make that a safe solution for you too. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it useful, and maybe see you soon.